Hi everyone, it's Mike with Crane Realty. So we're at the start of a new month here in July, so that means that we get to actually look now at the previous month's inventory, June, and to see exactly where the market is trending, whether we're getting more properties hitting the market, less, or are we staying stagnant. This is really just one of the ways that we can actually take a look and see where exactly our market is headed, whether it's starting to lean more towards a seller's market still, or potentially into a buyer's market. And we try to use this as one of those different ways of gauging where exactly the market's at. So without much delay, let's get right into the numbers. Alrighty here. So again, we're going to be looking at the last 10 years just as a frame of reference, number of new listings over a period of just months, kind of breaks it down pretty easy for us there. And I've already put location, Ontario County, because we primarily operate out of Ontario County. And then we're going to click on chart. So you can see right here, really kind of hit more of a peak time back in the early and mid-teens. And then these drop-offs, these bottom parts here, is really the backswing of the market. So you go up from summertime, down into winter, and then up for the summertime. So we'll click on data. So early teens back in June, able to clear 280, 330, 280. 330 seems to be the real highest back in 2015, 280 back in 2017. And then pre-pandemic 2019 just got over 290. And then, as you can see, a little bit of a drop off, nothing terribly significant to take notice of. And then this past month, 225. So from last year being at 260, definitely have taken a bit of a dip down to 225. And in fact, it's actually under last month's at 230, which is really surprising because pretty consistently we usually see June be able to get north of that traditionally, but that's just not the case here. So we'll see if we're going to be able to have July and August continue upwards with a few stronger numbers. I know coming out of the spring, it was kind of a little hit and miss as far as when properties were coming on. It didn't seem like it had a whole logical sense. Usually as the weather is starting to come out, school's coming out, that's usually when we see that uptick. But perhaps for different reasons, people are starting to list at different times of the year. Let's take a unique look at a specific location. Instead of looking at Ontario County, we'll break it down a little bit more. Why don't we do a school district? And why don't we do like a Victor? Because I know Victor kind of encompasses a few different locations, like a Farmington as well. Okay. All right, so 2018, you can see that they went really high, almost to 120 in 1 month. Well, let's click on data and see what exactly that looks like. So June, able to get over 100. Okay. And now, just under 60. And again, similar trend with the other Ontario County going from May, very strong. And then we dipped way down to 60, which is a bit surprising. This is actually really interesting though. So for June, pretty much over the last 4 years, we've always been able to hit over the threshold of 80, 87, 82, 82, 87. And then we hit 59 for the number of new listings in the Victor School District. So we're seeing less actually taking place here. Which is interesting because we certainly have hit pockets of locations that have dialed back quite a bit. I have a number of different buyers looking in Farmington and Victor, and I know over the last month or two they've been saying they just haven't seen a whole ton of listings. And last year you could kind of see going from like January, February, and then you just kind of have this rev up period. This year it's been kind of all across the board. with an early amount of inventory, and then February is completely dead, and then it revved back up again, and then now we're kind of dialed back a little bit, which is certainly kind of interesting to see the volume coming on in these very interesting moments or disperses of new listings hitting the market. I do know with regard to another video that I made, seeing that the market might actually be taking a little bit of the shift as interest rates continue to increase, impacting buyers in their financial capabilities. We'll see if that's going to have an impact with regard to sellers, because obviously if the buyer pool decreases, it might cause a lot of sellers in saying, hey, wait a minute, if I were to put my home on the market back in March or April, you're telling me that I could have gotten X dollar for my home, and instead it's like Y. It might cause a lot of sellers out there to list and hold, or potentially pull their listing altogether and then just wait and see what they can get for the springtime of next year. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully this information was helpful. Again, just to kind of create some hard data for you if you're a buyer, if you're a seller, where exactly is that market kind of trending? To be frank with you, this information says that we're kind of a little stagnant. We're not seeing a huge generous push in either direction, kind of similar to the numbers that we already kind of came off of May. If anything, May so far is the highest amount of inventory that we've gotten, and then June kind of right underneath that. So hopefully we'll start seeing some more homes. I know that will be certainly helping a lot of buyers out there. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to reach on out, have a conversation about this, feel free to give me a call. I'd be happy to talk with you. Again, I'm Mike with Crane Realty, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.